Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Tuesday, October 7, 2025. And in the news this evening, body of missing Christiana High student found in burnt-out refrigerator. A decomposed body believed to be that of a missing Christiana High student was found in a burnt-out refrigerator behind her family home in Baileystown, Clarendon on Monday evening, police say. The body is suspected to be that of 13-year-old Santina Sargent. According to a police report, Sargent, who resided at Riverside Drive in the community, was reported missing by her father on Friday, October 3. Police said on Monday, October 6, a team from the Christiana police station went in search of Sargent. During the search, police stumbled upon a body in an advanced state of decomposition. The body was found at the back of a house in bushes under a zinc next to a burnt-out refrigerator. There is now a somber mood at the Christiana High School in Manchester, where Sargent was a second-form student on the afternoon shift. Principal Lee St. Wallis told the news that grief counseling has been arranged. The news understands that Sargent recently transferred from Excelsior High to Christiana High. Princess Margaret Hospital probe underway. The relevant authorities have launched an investigation into alleged unprofessional conduct by two senior members of staff at the Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas. It is reported that several junior doctors and nurses have left the hospital due to the conduct of the senior members. One of the two senior staffers is being accused of exploiting government resources for private use. Steve Riley, parish manager at the St. Thomas Health Department, confirmed that the issues have been brought to the attention of the department. Sagicor Bank engages the Labor Ministry to help settle wage negotiations with disgruntled workers. The management of Sagicor Bank Jamaica Limited says it is hopeful that a mutually agreeable resolution will be reached with disgruntled workers and their union over wages and benefits. Bustamante Industrial Trade Union Vice President Rudolph Thomas, in a statement on Tuesday, indicated that employees have been wearing black to work to signal their dissatisfaction. Thomas said the union's claims for improved wages and the benefits were submitted in October 2024, but negotiations have become increasingly drawn out, extending beyond 8 months since a clarification meeting held on January 31, 2025 with both bargaining units. Thomas contends that while the employer has publicly celebrated strong financial performance and achievements over the past year, it has failed to extend a fair and reasonable wage offer to employees. He indicated that unionized staff have mandated the BITU to reject the current wage offer and to serve a 72-hour notice of industrial action on Sagicor Bank's management. Reacting to the development, Sagicor Bank, in a statement on Tuesday, said it is aware of the issues and has been working to resolve the matter. The company said it and the union have successfully reached agreements on the vast majority of matters being negotiated in the bargaining process. As it relates to negotiations between the BITU and the Sagicor Life Jamaica Limited for a collective labor agreement, all but one matter has been resolved, the company noted. Regrettably, despite the best efforts and the willingness to explore reasonable options, consensus has not been achieved on the remaining outstanding matters. Sagicor Bank says the Ministry of Labor and Social Security has been engaged to assist in facilitating a fair and a timely resolution. The company's leadership is hopeful that a mutually agreeable resolution will be reached through the established industrial relations framework. Dr. O.J. Dixon to challenge the constitutionality of his interdiction over contesting election. Medical Dr. O.J. Dixon plans to go to court to challenge his interdiction by the Southern Regional Health Authority, which arose from his participation in the September 3 general elections. Dixon was served a notice of interdiction dated September 16 which has prevented him from working since September 17. The notice charges that he breached the Public Sector Staff Orders, Section 4.2.61, which the regional authority says expressly bars the public servants from participating in politics at any level. He ran as a candidate for the People's National Party in Clarendon North Central. Attorney Maurice McCurdy, who is representing Dixon, argues that the section of the staff orders used to trigger the interdiction is inconsistent with the Charter of Rights and the Fundamental Freedoms. The actions which flow from your letter, dated the 16th day of September 2025, have breached Dr. Dixon's constitutional rights in light of Sections 13.3b and 13.3e of the Charter. Section 13.3b guarantees the right to freedom of thought, conscience, belief, and the observance of political doctrines, while 13.3e guarantees the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association, said McCurdy in a letter dated October 5 to Nicoletta Thomas Edwards, Director for Human Resource Management at the SRHA. The lawyer said the decision to interdict Dixon under Order 1071 of the Staff Orders also breaches his constitutional right to equitable and humane treatment by a public authority as guaranteed by Section 13.3h, which protects individuals from discrimination and ensures equal treatment. The restriction placed on Dr. Dixon's movement has breached his constitutional right as guaranteed by Section 13.3f2 of the Charter. This guarantees that every person lawfully in Jamaica has the right to move freely throughout the country, reside in any part of Jamaica, and leave Jamaica. I have received the instructions to file a claim in the full court challenging the constitutionality of the above-mentioned provisions and the notice of application for an interim injunction seeking the reinstatement of Dr. Dixon and the stay of the restriction placed on his freedom of movement. I will also be applying for a stay of the disciplinary proceedings pending the outcome of the constitutional law claim. The requisite filing will be done early this week, and I will provide you with a courtesy copy of the notice of application, fixed date claim form, and all other attendant documentation, the letter read inter alia. McCurdy's letter also noted that Dixon was not only interdicted but barred from traveling outside the island without a permission from the SRHA. He contends that the regional authorities' approach has prejudiced Dixon, adding, as a natural consequence of same, any further negative treatment of my client will unfairly prejudice his interest and a good name. Further, in my view, there was no need to interdict my client since he poses no threat to your investigative process. The lawyer is requesting that the interdiction order be revoked, particularly the restriction barring Dixon from leaving Jamaica. He is also seeking a stay of the disciplinary proceedings. The news can confirm that Thomas Edwards has received McCurdy's letter after acknowledging receipt and noting that SRHA will provide a response as soon as possible. Legal experts, public commentators, and one veteran trade unionist have offered varying opinions, but there is consistency in the view that Dixon's constitutional rights may have been breached and that the interdiction order may not be applicable. Fake doctor who pleaded to visa scam gets 6 years in prison. 58-year-old Andrew Clark, the man who was arrested at the Spanish Town Hospital last year for impersonating a medical doctor, was on Monday sentenced to 6 years and 29 days in prison in the St. Catherine Parish Court. Clark, who pleaded guilty to 4 counts of obtaining money by means of false pretense and uttering forged documents, was sentenced by Senior Parish Court Judge Janelle Nelson Gale. He was given 12 months and 29 days for 2 counts of obtaining money by false pretense and 36 months and 29 days for each count of uttering forged documents, which are to run concurrently. Additionally, Clark was sentenced to 12 months and 29 days on another count of obtaining money by false pretense and 36 months and 29 days on 2 other counts, which will run consecutively bringing his total time behind the bars to 6 years and 29 days. The judge warned Clark that upon completion of his sentence, he must maintain the peace. "Mr. Clark, kindly put down the medical gown. I see where you have been committing crime from 1997. Therefore, you must learn from this, as you could have received up to 14 years as you are a repeat offender," Judge Nelson Gale said. Clark's defense attorney, Abina Morris, pleaded for leniency, noting that her client had already spent almost a year in custody. In handing down sentence, the judge acknowledged the good investigation by detectives from the St. Catherine North Police Division. Facts are that on November 7, 2024, police received information that a man calling himself Dr. Clark collected over $2 million to perform various medical tests and failed to honor the agreement. Later, detectives assigned to the St. Catherine North Police Division went to the Spanish Town Hospital, where Clark was arrested wearing a medical uniform and wearing a fake doctor's identification card bearing his name and image. Following further investigation, it was proven that he was not a doctor. He was charged with impersonating a medical doctor, obtaining money by means of false pretense, and uttering forged documents. Investigations revealed that Clark collected $1.7 million from one complainant, $600,000 from another, and $250,000 from two other complainants to provide medical services to them. To convince his victims, he furnished the fake recommendations from various hospitals which he claimed to have been employed. The Crown later withdrew the impersonating charge. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.